So here is the touchscreen that comes with the new Explorer, and it's kind of like an iPad-like unit. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and today we're going to do a quick overview on the all-new 2020 Ford Explorer. So first and foremost, we're going to do a quick walk around on the Explorer. Sadly, we cannot take this one out for a drive. It's kind of like a factory demo type deal, but this vehicle is being provided to us by Larry H. Miller Ford Lincoln here in Draper, Utah. So if you're on the market for new Ford, check these guys out. There are three powertrain options for the 2020 Ford Explorer. There is a hybrid 3.3 liter V6, and then there is a 3 liter twin turbo V6 as well, and then you have a 2.3 liter twin turbo 4-cylinder. So those are the three different powertrains. You do have a couple different tunes on some of them. So like the 3 liter, there's a tune for the ST, and then there's a regular tune for the Explorer like this one, which is a Platinum. Now in terms of power outputs, the 2.3 liter gets 300 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque, and then the 3.3 liter hybrid system is 318 horsepower and has over 500 miles of driving range. And then the ST trim package is going to have 400 horsepower and 415 pound-feet of torque. And then if you get the regular 3 liter, which this one has, it's going to be good for 365 horsepower and 380 pound-feet of torque. And like I said, all of those are routed through a 10-speed automatic transmission. Now on the front end here, we actually have adaptive LED headlights here. So when you're going and driving and all that, they will turn with your driving and everything. And then you can see the little turn signal indicator that will pop up right there. And then you have the fog lights down below. And this is the whole new front end that they've done with the Explorer. They've kind of gone for more of like a satin finish on the chrome instead of like a bright chrome. I think that looks really, really handsome on it, but full LED lights on the front end of things. If you're wondering what this paint is called, it is called Star White Metallic Tri-Coat, and it's a little bit hard to tell because it's not super bright outside, but it's kind of got like a nice, let me pop over to the back so you can see it a little bit better. It's got like a nice kind of sparkle in the sunlight. I haven't seen a paint like this before on the Ford, so I think it looks really, really good. Around the side here, we have these 20-inch bright mock face aluminum wheels, 255mm tires in the front and the rear. I like the finish on these, they look good. And then you have this really nice kind of like satin chrome accent that goes down the side of the Explorer. Something that I will note is you kind of have like plastic here on the fenders and down the side on it. Kind of goes all the way around to the front as well, so it's kind of like an interesting choice for Ford on that. Here's the key fob for the 2020 Explorer. You've got a bunch of different functions on it. So you have your regular unlock and then lock. You've got remote start and then your tailgate release. So if we press that twice, that would do the remote start function on it, and then you press that twice and that would open up the tailgate. When the tailgate's open, we can kind of see there's this kind of storage space on both sides, and then we can pop this open for a little bit extra storage. Get a 12 volt here, and then these are where all of your seat lowering controls are. So you can press that and that'll lower down both of the seats. And then you can actually press it again, raise them back up in the rear. The cargo space here looks pretty much identical to the previous generation. The only thing that's different is those two kind of like whole things on the side. It's a little bit interesting. And on the tailgate up here, you can actually lock the vehicle from the outside here. So you can like lock it and then lower down the tailgate. So then you don't have to go and pull out the key fob to lock it again and go up to the front and do the keyless entry on that. And then we can actually look at the rear here. So we've got quad tip on the exhaust out back here, and then you've got like a little receiver hitch in the back with your plugins for towing. All of your parking sensors are going to be back here. You got your Platinum badging, EcoBoost badging, and then we've got the full LED lights here in the back. Looks super similar to the lights on the new Expedition, so it seems like they kind of carried over the aesthetic from that onto the Explorer. So now here on the side, you've got your lock function, and then if you put your hand on the back of the door handle, that is what will unlock it here in the rear. And now that the rear is fully unlocked, we can kind of see the paneling for the back here. So we've got this beautiful white leather with some contrasted stitching right there. Window controls, and then you've got your little speaker with the door handle here on this side, and then they actually do give you sunshades here in the rear on the door as well. Actually, coming to the interior, this has the captain chairs fitted out with it, and they use real leather here in the Platinum, so it's a lot softer to the touch. You got beautiful perforations on it. There's actually a button to fold down the seat right there on the top of it. it. You get little cup holders here in the back, and if we look at the rear space here, there's actually a decent amount of legroom for the very back passengers, and it's just 2 seats back there. So this is 6 seats total here in this new Explorer. And then if we pop over here, you can see the legroom here, and this area is more than sufficient, so a ton there. You actually get a separate climate here in the rear, heated seats, and then there's a little charging station with some extra storage just down below. Irregular map pockets just behind here. And then if we look above, you can see that there's some vents up there, and then the panoramic sunroof will come to the rear as well. Now we've got the same lock and unlock here on the front, and you will notice that the mirrors will power fold in, and then once I unlock it, the mirrors will power fold back out. And then if we open up the door panel here for the front, we can see again more of that beautiful white leather with the stitching. You can see the speaker for the sound system right there. All of your window controls are going to be right here. Your mirror controls up here, and then it does have memory seats, your door lock and unlock, more speakers. You're going to note that there are a ton of speakers here in the new Explorer. Looking at the seat here, we can see there's a bunch of controls. So you've got your adjustments here, and then you've got your lumbar right there, and then it does say Platinum on the back of the seat. And then these seats still have that beautiful perforation. They're very, very soft to the touch, especially the headrest, very comfortable to sit in. You can see the pedal layout just down below there, and then the hood's interesting, so you have to pull that twice, and then you can just pull the hood up and then put the prop on it. It's not like a regular hood where you find a latch underneath. I actually prefer that to traditional hoods. And then up here we can see all of our controls for the lights. That's for your tailgate. You can see all the different modes you can go with the lights, and then you press it in for the fog lamps right there. And then note that the steering wheel is power adjustable. Stepping in here, step and height's really good. It's really easy to get in and out of, but to start up, you just put your foot on the brake. Push start button's right there. You notice the steering wheel will go into place, and the gauges will do a sweep. You look at the steering wheel here in the Explorer, so you'll note Ford logo right in the center there. And then we have a bunch of controls right here. So these are your phone controls, and then these are for the center screen too. So there's a bunch of different menus you can go through. We'll go over that later. And then at the bottom of the steering wheel, we've got this nice wood trim. It feels really nice and premium. And then over on the other side, we have all our controls for the cruise control. It does come with adaptive cruise control, and then you have like the lane departure assistance, all that. Basically, you can keep itself in the center of the lane. Really neat technology there. And then your volume controls for the radio. And then note, it does have blind spot monitoring too. You can see that in the mirror. There are paddle shifters mounted on the back of the steering wheel. So if you want to shift the gears yourself, you can with that. And then overall, the design of the steering wheel, so this has the brown leather to kind of go with the white and then brown that this interior is going after, with some stitching in the middle. I like the look of the steering wheel overall. The gauge cluster right here is pretty configurable, so I played with it to go through kind of like all the different menus. So you can see that there's a couple of different menus you can scroll through right here with the gauge cluster, just give you basic information. It says calm screen, so I was like, what was that? I went over here, and then you can select different screens, so you basically can see what you want to see screen wise, and it gives you all that different information as well on it. And then you can go back, and then you can obviously look at the audio, navigation, and phone as well. So this center screen is actually pretty configurable, and I just like the aesthetic of it. Here is the touchscreen that comes with the new Explorer, and it's kind of like an iPad like unit. You've got a bunch of different controls on it. So you've got like your apps tab, for example, and then if you go into your settings, this is where you can customize everything. You even have a tab for like the vehicle. So like you've got ambient lighting, and you have a bunch of different colors that you can essentially go through on that. And then like your navigation, you can customize all of your preferences on that. And then even the seats, you can change the functions on them. So it does have massage function on this Platinum package, but you can see you can adjust everything on the seat for the driver and for the passenger on those functions. And then it does have a valet mode as well. Here is the actual like nav unit, so what it looks like, really responsive, easy to use. And then you've got your little phone tab, so you can control everything here on your phone, Bluetooth, texting, calling. And then this is your media tab, so your radio is all going to be controlled through there. And then if you press the home screen button, this is what the home screen looks like, and gives you like a little menu tab that'll take you over to the navigation list, and then this gives you all of that different information. So really easy unit to use, and I kind of like the look of it. It literally looks like they popped like an iPad down and just put it in the center of the Explorer here. Now, if we pop it into reverse, you can see that a backup camera will pop up, so you can see that you've got like a bird's eye view, and then you've got the regular backup camera with trajectory lines right there. It's giving me a warning because I'm not supposed to be driving the vehicle, but I'm not, I promise. You You can see that you can even go through the different views, and this gives you a bunch of different camera views as well on the screen. So on that sense, it's really good. And then you do get parking sensors in the front and rear, and you see those will illuminate on this screen. Down below here, we have our analog controls to the radio, and then you've got your button for the camera system to turn that on or off. You can just press that button right there. Parking sensors, your hazard light, and that's kind of like your skip button for the radio. Now down here we have all of our analog climate controls. It is a dual zone climate. You do get heated and ventilated seats up front, heated steering wheel for the driver, and then that's just your regular climate control system right there. And then just down below here we have some extra storage. You get a couple of USBs and then a 12 volt in there. Decent amount of storage space in this little area, and it's just this little thing that you press to open or close. Ford is introducing this dial into pretty much all of their cars now, so you can see this is their regular dial shifter. You've got your reverse, neutral, drive, and then the manual shift mode. That's where you'll use these paddle shifters, is when you go into the manual shift mode if you want to shift the gears yourself. And then if you want to go out of the manual shift mode, you literally just press the button again, and then that'll take you back out of the manual shift mode. We have some cup holders just right next to it, and then the wireless charging is kind of in an interesting place. It's right here in the center console area, so you just plop your phone there for the wireless charging. Now we have our parking brake here. This is an interesting button, so I press this and it just basically says all accessories on. Not exactly sure on that. Auto stop starts right here. This is actually for the stability control. I think that's funny that it shows like a tire slipping instead of like the regular like car swerving for the stability control. It's kind of cool they did that graphic. Hill ascent control, and then that's parallel and perpendicular parking assistance. And then here's your drive mode. So you shift this dial, you basically twist it. It'll pop up on the center screen right here. So you have your normal drive mode, and then you can pop between the different ones. So you've got your slippery, you've got your trail mode, and then you've got your deep snow and sand. And I love how it gives little graphics for each of the modes. I'm just going to go through all these so you can see the different graphics that it gives for each of the modes that it has. Now we have our center console here, so more stitching, and if we actually pick this up, you can see there's quite a bit of storage space in here, and it's all lined with felt. There's a little light in there, and then you've got another little 12 volt right there, so plenty of storage overall in that little center console. And while we're talking about storage, let's come over here and open up the glove box. Again, lined with felt, decent amount of size in the glove box right here, and then there's a ton of stitching and soft touch leather above. Looks really, really good, and I love the wood trim above. It just makes this feel a lot more premium. Now we have all of the lights up here, so you actually get like a little sunglass holder right there, but these are all your controls for the lights, and then it does have a full panoramic unit for the sunroof. So the sunroof goes all the way to the rear right here, and you can open up just the shade with that button, and that'll let a little bit of extra light into the cabin. Note that it'll stop right there, and then you can press it again to fully open the shade if you want it open for the full experience. And then there's a little microphone up here. That's for your Bluetooth, so your people you're talking to through that system can hear you. And then you've got universal garage door openers up here on top of that, pretty standard nowadays. Wrapping things up on the interior of this 2020 Explorer, the interior definitely feels a lot more upscale than the previous generation. A lot of nice touches, so like especially the dash up here, all like smooth soft touch leather, feels very premium, looks very premium as well. I like the new setup here with the technology right there with the iPad, but overall they've just come a long way with the interior. Normally this is when we take it out to drive it. Sadly, like I said, I cannot drive it. As soon as Larry H. Miller Ford Lincoln here in Draper gets one that I can drive, trust me, I will be taking it out so I can give you guys kind of the tidbits on how this new Explorer drives. Now, sorry about all the hardcore reflection, but here is the window sticker. Hopefully you guys can at least somewhat read that so you can see all the different options that this 2020 Explorer has on it and all the different interior equipment and all that. Note, total price $60,935. That's before market adjustment. And then also you can see the EPA fuel economy numbers for this 3-liter twin-turbo V6 as well. And then you can see the transmission color options. Now that's pretty much going to sum things up. Like I said, I'm going to get a full review on the 2020 Explorer once they get more in. I want you guys though to leave in the comment section below what you want to see trim package wise. So if you want to see the ST or the Limited, all the trim packages that you guys actually want to see on this new Explorer, please just let me know, and I'll try to get up a review on those as soon as they get them in, obviously, but as quickly as possible. That's going to wrap things up for today's video. Thank you everyone so much for watching. Again, a big shout out and thank you to Larry H. Miller Ford Lincoln here in Draper, Utah, for providing us with this Explorer to do a quick overview of. If you're on the market for a new Ford, check these guys out. As always, if you're stopping in for the first time, I would really appreciate if you would subscribe, comment down below what you thought, and then I will see all of you in that next video. Like, look how cool that is. 2019 350R.